We have a very challenging idea that Tisha B'Av is called a moyed. In Eicha, Parak Aleph Pasuk Tesvav, Kara alai moyed. What kind of moyed, what kind of Yom Tif is Tisha B'Av? Tisha B'Av is the most tragic day of the entire year. And this even has halachic ramifications. Shulchan Aruch says we don't say Tachnun on Tisha B'Av. We don't even say Tachnun the Mincha before Tisha B'Av, because Tisha B'Av is a Yom Tif. It goes so far as Beis Yosef quotes Rabbeinu Yaakov Sagan Levia, that if someone passes away on Tisha B'Av, we do not say Tzedek Hadin. Why? Tisha B'Av is a Yom Tif. What are we celebrating on Tisha B'Av? I can't help but share with you the following very personal thought. My grandfather, Zechatzak Levracha, writes about when he was transported from Radom to Dachau, the Emek Habacha, the valley of weeping of the Germans, Malach Hamaves, killings every day, total humiliation in the eyes of the Germans. And my grandfather writes that him and his dear brother Henoch were kicked and chased to the crematorium. And at the doorstep of the Beis HaSreifa, where tens of thousands were choking in the most shocking convulsions. And his brother says to him, please, I would like to ask for some water. I'm choking. And my grandfather says, no, we cannot drink water. Death will relieve us of our pain sooner. My grandfather writes, we were inches and moments from the next world, and a heavenly miracle occurred. Standing at the threshold of death, the SS officer appeared, he grabbed us, he barked, you're young, you're capable of work, and he dragged us away. My grandfather wrote, this godly miracle will remain with us forever. The Rebbeinu Shalom was standing at the doorstep of the Beis HaSreifa, and he pulled my grandfather out. But a very simple thought occurred to me, because it wasn't only my grandfather who the Rebbeinu Shalom was pulling out of the crematoria. It was my father, Zolgazansain. It was me. It was my children. He saved us. I guess he wanted us. And if you're around today, and you're a Jew around today, the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted you to. You know, people say, if only I would see a miracle, if only I would see something of the caliber of the splitting of the Red Sea, then I would believe in God, then my emunah would be firm. You want to see a miracle? Look at the face of another Jew. In Tafshin Pei Beis in 2022, that is the greatest miracle you'll ever see. 3,300 years ago, our great-grandparents were in Egypt. 80% of our people perished. But the Rebbeinu Shalom saved your direct ancestors so that you could be here today. Destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash. The death toll was enormous. But the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted you, so he saved your family. Bayis Rishon, staggering death toll. Josephus writes the numbers of those who perished or slaughtered by the sword. 1.1 million, then the Romans hunted down every last Jew they could find. During the Crusades, tens of thousands of Jews were massacred. 1391, hundreds of thousands of forced conversions. Chmielnicki pogroms, Inquisition. The Rebbeinu Shalom has been looking out for you for the last 3,300 years. Your ancestors were rescued from the Holocaust. For a Jew to be here today, it's not statistically unlikely, and it's not highly improbable. It's an open miracle of the highest proportions. Rav Yaakov Emden, in the introduction to his Siddur, he writes, Ve'eich lo yevosh hakoifer b'hashgacha v'yamod nichlam. How can the heretic in God's providence not be utterly ashamed? Misha ya'ayin beyichud in yonenu ma'amadenu ba'olam, by analyzing our situation in the world. Anachnu ha'uma hagoyla, we the exiled nation, seb pezura, the scattered sheep. Achar kol ma she'avar aleinu me'atzaros v'atmuros halav me'ashanim. After everything that has occurred to us, all the tragedies over thousands of years, says Rabbi Yaakov Emden, and by the way, the Chassam Sofer says Rabbi Yaakov Emden was a Navi. He says, Chai nafshi, I swear. Ki b'hisboineni b'nefloi seila. When I contemplate these miracles, God lo yatzli yoser, they are greater to me. Mikol nisim v'neflois, from all the miracles and wonders, sha'asa Hashem yisbarach la'avoseinu b'mitzrayim, that God wrought for our forefathers in Egypt, uve'eretz Yisrael. And if Rabbi Yaakov Emden was astonished by the miracle of the Jew in the 18th century, can we even begin to imagine what would he say if he saw the face of a Jew in the 21st century? He might say, it's a nes, it's a miracle, she'ein kol malach u'berio yicholam l'shar, that an angel could not fathom. And can we then be so bold as to say that if Pesach is a Yom Tov that commemorates the Exodus, Yetzias Mitzrayim, and if Shavuos is a Yom Tov that celebrates the giving of the Torah, and if Sukkot is a Yom Tov that celebrates the great miracle of the clouds of glory, can we be so bold to say that Tisha B'Av is a Yom Tov that celebrates an even greater miracle? The miracle of Netzach lo Yisrael lo Yishaker, the miracle of the eternity of the Jewish people, the survival of the Jewish people, the Nitzchios, the eternity of Klal Yisrael, which is a greater miracle even than the miracles of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Our ancestors, they would say, if only they could see a real miracle, like the miracles that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do for the Jewish people in the 21st century. So this Tisha B'Av, look at your friend sitting next to you in shul and recognize that you behold the greatest miracle in the history of the world. Just look at yourself. You are the greatest reflection of the might and the power of Avinu Shabashamayim. May we be zocheh that this Tisha B'Av turn into the real Yom Tov of the fruition of the Mashiach Sheyavai B'mher v'Yameinu. Amen.